Sanke.
I'm a living example of you can get punched in the face and get back up, because I'm the modern day Aztec warrior.
Welcome back to MMA Underground. I am Jay filling in for Buddy V, but we have the one and only
Sam K in the building. And all the way from Streetbeefs West Coast, we have an OG to the yard on the show today. You've seen him before, bang it out multiple times. We have the one, the only, Darklord in the building.
West Coast, what's going on, people? What's going on?
What up, man? How you feeling?
I'm feeling good, man. I took myself a little gym break, a little halfer. Working on some cardio. After that, I was doing some heavy lifting, some bench, some tries, and then I'm gonna do some squats and some deadlifts after, man. You know what I mean? Keep it steady.
Hell yeah. You know, they say cardio is key.
Cardio is key, baby. That's right.
You know what I'm saying? Y'all pick up a shirt at zwellworld.com and work on that cardio while y'all at it.
Yeah, those shirts are on sale right now, so go get you one.
Yep, they're on sale at zwellworld.com for $10. You can't beat that.
And it's a good fit too, man. I'm telling you, man, they fit nice feel.
Hell yeah. So, man, what's been going on, man? You said you've been going to a new gym or gym hopping. What's that been like?
Yeah. So like I said, so I do construction, man. I do finished carpentry, demolition and reconstruction, remodeling, things like that. And I got picked up by a buddy of mine who started his company. It's called Black Ops Construction. And over here in the San Fernando Valley, we got picked over to I got pretty much put in charge of this demolition job at this one house. And so I've been having the opportunity to go to different gyms and like train at different places, you know, just kind of like a trial membership thing here or there, pick up different styles, which is really cool, you know what I mean? Because dynamically speaking, like me, I know people see me in like my boxing matches and stuff like that. I'm not really a boxer, you know. I'm like my original martial art that I started training with was Muay Thai, like way back in the day when I was like 15. And before that, before that, when I was 9, I was actually I did Taekwondo, but I was only for like a summer, so I don't really count that. But the Muay Thai is really where I picked up my kicks, a lot of my movement, a lot of like the displacements, things like that. But yeah, we were talking, man, and yeah, so gym hopping, man. I've got an opportunity to kind of train with a lot of different people. Steadily, I was training with the GTA Gooch Training Academy out there in Canoga Park, out here in California. I went over to MTK for a little bit. I did some training over here at Gracie for a little bit. So yeah, dynamically speaking, like MMA is like it's more of like an elite form of like martial art for me. But I stick to the boxing because I'm not a boxer, you know, and I feel like that's important to kind of like work on your weak points. You know what I mean?
Mm.
So I gotta ask, and Sam K, you can jump in here too, and it just made me think of it. So how effective is Taekwondo? Because every kid in high school who supposedly knew Taekwondo, I beat his ass in a fight. So, like, I'm just saying, how effective is Taekwondo?
Well, from my understanding, Taekwondo is more like it started off as more like a militarized kind of showing of like respect, you know, for so on and so forth. I'm not too fixated on the details, honestly, but from what I do understand is that when I practice Taekwondo, there have been some moves and some like techniques based on like movement and like the inertia of kicks that have been really effective in my practices. But as far as like kicking boards and things like that, I feel like that's why I only did it for like a summer. You know what I mean? But I did take what I did pick up and I've applied that when I started my actual training, which I did for about like two and a half years. And then after that, I mean, I just kind of, like I said, I've just been doing freelance stuff from then because I've worked since I was like, 13. So I just kind of had the time to just, do what I got to do. So as far as like initial training goes, I would say with GTA, I did that for a good portion of a year, and that was like 6 days a week, I want to say like 5 to 6 hours a day. Because I was going there like for both sessions, morning and evening sessions, man. I was there
And
for the whole.
that's the Muay Thai, correct?
No, that's the MMA later on. Yeah.
Okay, the GTA's in the May. Okay.
Yeah. Yeah, I went to when I was younger, I was Tiger Muay Thai out in Van Nuys.
Nice.
Yeah,
Nice.
that was dope, man. It was hardcore, man. It smelled really bad, but I loved it.
Hey, if it doesn't smell like sweat and blood, I mean, I don't know if I want to be there, to be honest,
That's right. That's right.
But
That's
I
right.
mean, from to answer your question, Jay, from what I've seen personally, I don't know the history or the background too well either. But just off of what I see, a lot of times it seems to be a point-based system, and that's embedded in the fighter. Uh, and the kicks are where they really shine. They have some very nice, crisp kicking. That seems to be the focus. But it's not the intention isn't to be destructive, to harm, to hurt. The intention is to, from what I see, to focus on form, to focus on crispness, the look, the positioning as opposed to damage, because I've heard in certain tournaments, you get penalized for actually striking your opponent. So what does that teach you as a fighter, as a martial artist, as someone learning self-defense? It kind of puts certain things in your head. So when you're in a real fight, you're not in there to fight. You
I
get me?
do remember now that you said that too, both of you, about the kicks. George St. Pierre really focused on Taekwondo for his kicks. I remember that now that you guys brought that up. So that's good if you take anything from any, martial art and can combine it into it. I mean, that's essentially what MMA, is. So,
Yeah.
but I just
Because you
never
can
felt
take
like
all.
the kids who were like Taekwondo kids weren't beating up anybody in high school.
Oh yeah, no, dude.
Yeah.
Seriously.
The wrestlers were the ones, but see, MMA wasn't as big. I'm old, right? 47. Wrestlers were fucking people up in high school. That's who was beating the shit out of people in high school when I was there.
To this day. you know?
Story.
Yeah, them wrestlers, man, it's next level for sure. We talk about cardio a lot on here, and wrestling requires next level cardio, But not to knock the Taekwondo guys, because all of that can, like you said, if you mix it up with other stuff, all of that shit can be effective. You know what I mean?
Not everybody who does martial arts does it to want to fight anyway, right? Like some people do it to better themselves, to stay in shape, to center themselves. You know what I mean? So there's a lot of good reasons for it. And don't get me wrong, I love watching those wild kids on the reels busting boards and being like, they're all little and shit. They're like, ah, and I'm like, all right, little dude, go get that.
A little axe kick. Yeah, it's great. Yeah, but see, like you guys were saying, I mean, for for somebody who had when I practice Taekwondo, I have like a photographic memory. So the things that I picked up was like you were talking about the form and like the technique and like the style of it, because you're right, 100%. They are based off a point-based system. But like when you integrate that with actual like strikes, like real follow through kicks and like actual roundhouses and an actual like lunge kick or an actual teep kick, things like that, like putting your hip into it, like that's different, because then you understand the actual flow and follow through. And I think that's one of the advantages that I've been able to have a lot of the times when I was practicing full on Muay Thai, was that I was able to kind of like not only understand the dynamic of like my opponent's reach, but I can also understand like my own capabilities of how far I can extend myself. If I can go past the 6 inches with the same amount of like inertia, with the same amount of like kinetic force that I can follow through with, and then could I retract that in the same amount of time? You know what I mean? Because like kicks are a completely different thing than punches. You know what I mean? Punches can kind of go with the flow, but like I've learned in MMA, man, like if you're able to integrate your what we call the four corners, your four corners, like your hands, your extensions of your hands and your feet. If you're able to like kind of like throw a jab and then throw like a right kick and then switch over, throw a left and then throw a right and then like just mix that up, dude, you are a dangerous fighter because you have a complete opening of every other like strike point. You know, like more than your opponent, because you know most fighters are fixated on like one upper body, kind of like your left, right, kidney shots, pin, like they from my understanding, like in my fights, the fighters that I fought, they've focused more on like the traditional kind of like points of attack, right? To where like there's other angles and there's other like opportunities for striking, you know, and if you're able to kind of like tilt or lean or like, you know, slip your body in a certain way to where you can kind of like, you know, bring back that plot sauce, man. You know, it's cake at that point. You know, you find that's called finding your flow, right?
Yes, sir.
No, sorry about that, man. I'm super passionate about this fighting.
Oh
Man.
no, man.
Oh, don't be
This is
sorry.
why we talking to you.
Love man. I love Streetbeefs, man. You guys have no idea. You guys are like, it's awesome, man. It's awesome. I encourage everybody, anybody and everybody, you know, and again, that's the thing is like for us to have like a podcast or you guys have a podcast and be able to like talk about things and reach out to fighters and you know, have, you know, that's a wonderful thing. You know, a lot of people need that. You know what I mean? A lot of people have a what's it called? They have a look for like an outreach or like something to kind of like, you know, interact with people. And you know, like a lot of our fighters that you know they fight, you know, like not all of them are like experienced. Not a lot of them have, you know, a lot of them are just like, hey, you know, just very gritty, and they're just like, yo, this is something I want to try. You know, that one guy, I forget his name, in the Wolverine costume.
Weapon M.
Yes, right. Comes out, man. Comes out with his right. Does his thing after any fight, win or lose, man. Comes out, does his thing, boom, right. Next thing you know, like we're hanging out, we're whatever, you know. That right there, dude, is something that should be really, really recognized. And the fact that nobody holds a grudge, man, is freaking badass, dude. Because like, you know, people
Yeah.
nowadays are bitter, man. Especially like the younger generation, man. They're you know, little weenies.
Yeah. Yeah.
What I always
But
find amazing is watching guys come in and they start here, and then 4 or 5 fights in, they're here, and you're like, wow, I just got like, you don't know them, like me as the fan, I don't know them personally, but I literally just watched them level up in front of my eyes.
Yeah, absolutely,
yeah.
absolutely.
And you know, you're kind of one of those people as well, man, because like I said earlier, you know, I consider you one of the OGs to the West Coast, man. You've been with us for a minute. You've had some classic fights. And first I wanted to ask you, what was your first fight or your first event? What was the first event that you went to? And then also, what's been your favorite fight? Because you've been banging them out, man.
Oh man. So my first event, the first event that I went to was my first fight, and it was out here on the West Coast, and it wasn't even in out there in Nevada, man. It was out here in I think it was in Temecula somewhere, out here out here in California.
You
But
remember the number? What number that was?
I do not. I'm horrible at that. No, I have a horrible memory. I smoke a lot of weed, man. My bad.
It's got
But
to be one of the first 5, one of the first 3.
I think it was, if I'm not mistaken, I think it was like 7 or 6,
Okay.
if I'm not mistaken.
Okay,
But
probably 6.
yeah. So I fought the Native, man. It was Darklord versus the Native, and the Native, he was 19. I think I was 26 or something like that, and I hadn't trained in like a good like 5 or 6 years, man. I haven't done any kind of like training, nothing like that. I was fresh out of it. I was just like online chats and like, you know, with the page. And when I showed up, man, I weighed in, and they're like, "Yeah, you know, you're like 170 something. This kid's like 178 or something like that, or 168 something like that." I'm like, "Oh well, was he want to fight?" I'm like, I didn't know the rules, you know. So whatever. We signed the papers, we got into it, and the first thing this kid did is like lunged in and he cracked the shit out of me, boom. And I'm like, "Holy shit!" I'm like, "Oh, okay, cool." So like this isn't like just like, okay, I thought this was gonna be like a kind of like a, you know, like a show thing, you know, like whatever. So he cracks me, boom. And I understood that there's no like, we're not getting, you know, there's no like funding, there's no pay, you know, it's just a bunch of guys on a mutual thing, and like we're doing this, right? So I'm like, all right, cool. So he gets in, boom, boom, I go in, and yeah, man, I don't know what happened. I think autopilot just kicked in, and a lot of my, like, it wasn't practiced, it wasn't crisp, you know, but like the combos were there, some of the movements were there, like the strikes were there, and then I could remember, like, you know, some like a lot of what I trained for, I was able to do, but not how I wanted to do it, like, you know. And yeah, just autopilot kicked in. And I think that's what happens in a lot of fights, man. Is when that fight happened, me and the native, that kid can turn it on, man, because he cracked the shit out of me, man. That woke me up, man. But yeah, it was fun. Now, as far as my favorite, my favorite fight, it's okay. It's my favorite, and then it's also like my saddest, or like my most disappointing fight. It would be me against Coach Drew. That was like my favorite fight. I had no idea who this guy was. I went to the event in Ojai. We were in Ojai. I went to it was Ojai. I think the last event in Ojai. And
Yep.
I don't know who he was. Everybody that was like, "Yo, I got you, I'll be there." They all flaked on me. I had nobody there. I went there completely alone by myself. My car broke down, so I asked my homie to let me borrow his car. He let me borrow his car, and so I got there, and I was like, "Yo, I'm ready to fight. I'm pumped. Let's do it." Da da da. And I think this was after I fought Paradox as well. And when uh when he came out, I was like, "Oh, okay, this guy's like, you know, he's like, yo, it's Coach Drew fighting out of Barstow," and I'm like, "Oh, okay, cool. This guy's a real, like, cool. This is gonna be a good fight. You know, like I can actually, like, you know, like, all right, cool. Let me like hone in." And the same goddamn thing, man. He stepped in like a real, like, bah, bah, and I was like, "Holy shit, this motherfucker just boom, boom." And I was like, "Yo." And the whole time, like every hit he gave me, it reminded me of like honestly, it reminded me of like training and sparring, light sparring with my dojo master, you know, with and like do with my side. He was like, and it was like, it was different because it wasn't like it was like a real fighter can gauge the other fighter, you know what I mean? And that's that warrior's respect and honor and code. And honestly, like in a lot of other fights, I don't think I've ever got that. And Coach Drew did that, and he gauged it, and he still gave it what he needed to give it. You know what I mean? And I was like, "Yo!" And then but again, like I dropped once, I dropped once, I got up, I think, and then like I was like, "All right, cool, I'm not gonna do this again." So I got my licks in, you know, so I'm not a bitch. So bye bye. But then he ended up like cracking me, and then I dropped. And then I got up. I remember this. I got up, and then I think they called it, but I didn't hear them call it, because I'm still like, yo, I still want to fight. I'm not like sleepy. I got up. So I went out of the ring to go get water. And then I went to go get water, and then I went back in like, "Yo, too, I took some water." I'm like, "Yeah, let's go, let's get it." They're like, no, fight's over. I'm like, "What do you mean?" And like I look over, and the coach was like, "Yeah, you know, give it his dedications." I was like, "Oh, wait, damn, I still wanted to fight." You know, I was like, "God damn it." So I think that was like my favorite and my most disappointed, because I wasn't prepared. I didn't prepare myself. Honestly, I was like, you know, acting a fool. But that was my favorite, and then also, yeah, my most disappointed, because I got to fight a real warrior at that point. And I mean, when I say, I don't mean like, no, I'm not to discredit anybody else, but it was like dude, like if this was like, if we were like in Roman times, or if it was like, you know, like medieval times, man, that was like some honor shit right there, man. I was dope, man. It was an honor to fight that guy, man. Absolutely.
Yeah. Shout out to Coach Drew. I mean, at the time, he was a real coach, and I believe right now he's in the BKFC. So
Yeah.
he was a monster. I definitely remember that fight. He was with us shortly, but he definitely he made some special moments while he was here.
Yeah, absolutely. That was great, man. Great fight.
Hmm.
What about you? Let me flip the card. What's one of your favorite fights, my man? Because I mean, you've been around for a long time.
Of
I'll
yours?
ask both of you guys. No. Just in your favorite, one of your favorites. Like if you were to label it like top 3, if you guys were labeled
Ooh.
top 3 favorite fights, what would you call it out as?
I'm gonna let Jay take that because as ref, bro, I've seen the most fights.
Yeah, I know. That's why I want to ask you.
Streetbeefs fights.
I would think, yeah.
Okay, it has zero to do with technicality or anything like that. But
Oh
that
shit.
old white-haired bearded dude fighting solo at the scrapyard was fucking hilarious. I don't know the dude's name, but he had white hair, a white beard, and like he came out trying to kick with solo and he caught one in the chest and just went flying in the way he rolled. So that definitely I don't want to screw up his name, but rest in peace. Any fight I ever seen with 925 Pride, that kid was a monster.
Yeah, facts.
And watching Gumby with the scrapyard was another, just I don't know, fights off of, but Gumby was another one that I watched at the scrapyard. Was like, damn, there's something different about that dude. Him and 925 Pride. 925 Pride.
Gumby?
Huh?
In your top 10?
No, I'm saying fights of enjoyment. I don't know that I am bad at remembering who fought who. So I'm just throwing out some fighters I enjoyed watching. I'm giving you 3 that I enjoyed watching. But no, they're not. I said like Gumby was fun to watch though when it first started because it was at the beginning of Scrapyard, right?
It was.
Shit hadn't gotten to where it is now. And then, 925 Pride, I think that kid was one of the most dynamic dudes I watched fight. But yeah,
he was different, man.
Comfortable. But Sam K, my favorite fight of yours, and I don't remember who you fought or the guy's name, but the one where you fucking buckled him with that rib shot.
Probably Blick. That was my third fight.
Okay, no, that shot though, like that'll always remember because I didn't even realize the first time I watched it what happened, and then he went down, and I'm like, wait, what the fuck just happened? So that was a pretty dope fight for you.
Yeah, like look at that, man. That's funny you say that. I remember looking all like, all right, went to grab something to drink, and I look over, I'm like, wait, hold on, rewind it. I was like, wait, hold on.
Yeah, when the do-rag came off, I said, hold on, man. Hold up, bro. The do-rag done hit the sand.
Oh, damn.
I'm gonna have to, we need to get out of here. Yeah. Shout out to Blick. He's supposed to be fighting again. So, yeah, shout out to him, man. Good luck on your next fight.
It's Moose, right?
Possibly. We'll see how that goes.
Hey,
but
I actually want to. Oh, sorry.
No, go ahead, bro. Go ahead.
Sorry about the lag. There's a lag on it. My bad. I actually wanted to ask you guys. Just kind of like popped into my head. This. I've been hearing that we have a Streetbeefs in Texas. Is that right?
Yeah. They've been going maybe 2 years now. But the thing is, they have very few events per year because it's hard for them to coordinate. So they might have 3 to 5 events a year, maybe. You know what I'm saying?
What does that make us? That makes Streetbeefs West Coast, right? Because we're the best. We go first. And then there's Streetbeefs, the original, and then there's the Scrapyard, the Hot Box. What's the one in Texas?
So Hot Box is considered that's still West Coast. So we got 4 branches.
We got
Yeah. So we got the Dirty South branch. That's their name. We got the OG Yard, and then we got the West Coast, and then we got Scrapyard. Now, back in the day, they did have a Streetbeefs pound for pound. That didn't last too long. But that was actually, I believe, before Scrapyard. And then the OG Yard, they do pop-up events every blue moon at like Florida and other places over there. But I wanted to try to answer the favorite fights. And I'm gonna keep it strictly West Coast. And no order at all. No order at all. Definitely got to throw the Coyote, Big Daddy Williams trilogy in there as one fight. You can sit back and watch that whole trilogy as one fight. That is phenomenal. Phenomenal. Another West Coast fight that was crazy. Top three, or just crazy, not even top three. Fucking I'm trying to think of a 5-round war. I mean, shit. Oh, we lost Darklord. That 619 versus Talk 2. That was pretty epic. That was pretty epic. That was the first time I had to give 619 an 8 count. And it was you really could see Takamura going for the kill, which was different to see because he didn't do that against 619 in the first fight. So that was definitely one of those ones.
I'm thinking about it, maybe because this was live, but whoever No Love fought somebody when I was at the Hot Box Super Bowl event, he slept them. That fight I'll never forget.
No Love fought twice that day. He fought Kukul Khan. He didn't sleep Kukul Khan, but the other guy, I can't remember the name. The other guy, but
as stupid as this sounds, it was one of those times where I realized, like, oh, this is a family. After he slept him, because he literally helped him back up. He brushed the dirt off his face, like they had a hug. Like, I was like, this is different though than, like, you know it's a community and you understand that there's some depth to the relationships, but until you feel it, it is so different. Like I said, I've been talking to Street Beef guys for years, and understand the community, and then I go to an event and I'm like, oh, I didn't understand shit. I thought I did.
Yeah, man. It's like you said, a real community, a real brotherhood. You know what I'm saying? Like, you see guys really link up, and you can see, like, oh, these guys are family. You know what I mean? When you see, people cornering people time and time again, you realize, okay, that's bros right there, or even when you see the opponent from last event corner his now new training partner. You know what I'm saying? Like, it just shows the growth and the possibilities that we have here, because you're not going to get that in the amateur scene or the professional scene. You're not going to get that.
Again, I think that kind of falls under choice too. You know what I mean? Because you can choose to kind of hold a grudge. You could choose to really leave it in the freaking ring where you leave it. And a lot of people, they do that. They leave it there. And I think that's a great way for people to kind of like settle a lot of misunderstandings. We'll call them. You know what I mean? Hey,
that's a perfect segue because to answer that and the question earlier about one of the some of the greatest fights.
Thank you.
This is a 2-part fight. It originated as a regular fight, and then it turned into a beef fight, and then it turned into bros playing PlayStation together. Let me get the names. If Free Smoke, if you're there, if you can help me with this. This is it was a wrestler. It was a wrestler and a boxer. It was a wrestler and a boxer from way back in the day. Dude had the green wrestling shit.
The jumper,
he had the jumper. He had the jumper. He had the long ass ponytail.
Did you call it a jumper?
Antoine versus, I can't remember this dude's name, bro. Antoine versus. Just look up Streetbeefs West Coast Antoine, and he's fighting the fucking wrestler in the fucking the one, I don't know what to call it. The onesie, the wrestling get up. He had the wrestling get up, and dude like dog walked him. And then we seen a sucker punch right at the end of one of the rounds. Dude was dog walking him.
Boy.
Huh?
Triple A Boy.
There we go. Antoine versus Triple A Boy. Bruh.
You guys
One
are
of the
killing me.
craziest fights, bro. That first fight, the first fight, it was supposed to just be on some boxing shit. Homeboy, Triple A Boy came in for some wrestling, for some MMA. Couldn't find nobody for him. Antoine takes him. We're boxing. And I guess Antoine couldn't get off. You know what I'm saying? The round ends, Antoine sucker punches dude. Like clean. Like he got off then, right? So now it's a dog fight. We got 2 more rounds. It's a dog fight. So afterwards, like, you know, niggas is talking shit. You know what I'm saying? It ain't really over. So now it's like, all right, we're going to rematch. And when we rematch, it's going to be MMA and it's going to be beef fight. Yeah. They rematch. It's MMA. So you're expecting homie Triple A Boy to dog walk him again. The boxer comes through and he's doing his thing. It's like, what? And then by the end of the fight, I believe the boxer won at the end of the fight, I believe. But, you know, to finish the story fully, you know, fast forward, these guys is playing PlayStation together, you know what I'm saying? Talking shit, playing again, you know what I mean? Like full circle, everything kind of just worked out, you know? Yeah, you don't get that nowhere else.
Absolutely not. Absolutely not.
And both firefights.
And that's funny too, because like, you know, it's a lot of the times the most like heated battles, the most like, you know, they create like the strongest bonds, man. It's like,
yeah,
I don't know. I don't know. Like for me, I don't like to speak too much on it because I don't want to jinx it. You know what I'm saying? I don't want to jinx like, you know what I mean? Like this is, you know what I mean? And like a lot, like I've gotten like comments from like, you know, exes or friends and stuff like that. They're like, oh, how come you don't get paid and this and that? I was like, dude, I don't. For me, it goes back to like the warrior root, or like the basis of like of what I am, of who I am. You know what I mean? And it's like you don't need like compensation. Like for me, it'd be like we could just do it by ourselves. You know what I'm saying? But it's not by ourselves. It's amongst a lot of other people that are down with the same shit. So it's like, why not? You know, why not bring that together and make it known that there's something better out there rather than just, you know, holding a grudge or, you know, abusing people or like hurting yourselves, you know, for a lot of the times, you know, 'cause a lot of people deal with a lot of different things, you know what I mean? So for me, it's like I see, and that's why I've been a part of Streetbeefs for so long, is I've seen how fast it was able to like bring people together. You know, I don't know if you know this, Samke, but I've been a member for, I was a member for the original one on Facebook back in 2008 or something like that, like way back in the day. And then when you guys came up with the West Coast one is when I joined, and I didn't fight until you guys had the event in Ojai. Like I don't remember what the first event was. I don't remember if it was like 2016 or 17. I don't remember.
Oh, it would have been like closer to like 2020. They did a pop-up event. Basically, Scarface came out to Cali on some vacation shit, and they did like a pop-up event in the desert. And that's where you saw Tank and Bushido fight. But that wasn't necessarily the first event. I think the first event, it's hard to say because they did some events called Streetbeefs Vegas that aren't labeled as Streetbeefs West Coast event 1, 2, 3. It's kind of hard to say because you have to go look up those specific videos and then look at the date.
Yeah.
But the first one should have been at Red Reaper's yard in California. The very first. That was
in Ojai.
Wherever Red Reaper lived, it was in his backyard. So
that's hay bales, right?
That's
hay bales for a ring.
Yeah.
Okay. That was the one in Temecula. That was like the one in I think it was like the Inland Empire or San Bernardino, something like that. San Bernardino.
I think you're right. That was the one where Shinigami did the head kick.
Yeah. That was pretty cool.
Yeah, that was Streetbeefs West Coast 1 officially, but there were events before that.
Nice. Yeah, like Free Smoke just said Killer B's backyard was the second one in California, but the first actual event was San Bernardino.
Right.
Whoops,
Right.
wrong comment. There.
That's dope. Yeah, I remember those good old days, man. That's dope. That's awesome.
No,
See,
Groomie, they don't get paid. But they do get a lot more eyes on them than you would an amateur, and they do get a chance to build their own brand. And
Yeah.
if fighters put the work in, they can really build their brand off what Street Beefs gives them. So for me personally, I think I've always said this. I don't know why amateur fighters just don't like, or amateur cards don't just be like trying to get tons of Street Beefs fighters because you're already coming in. What amateur comes in with a following? What amateur like has been on fucking Pat McAfee or Brandon Schaub? Like what fucking amateur, went to the places some of these Street Beefs fighters do? I mean, and then I'm sure Free Smoke feels it too. I mean, I'm sure he's got a lot more people supporting him in his amateur career because of we know him from Street Beefs. We watched him in Street Beefs. The only reason I fucking got into Power Slap is because of Street Beefs, right? So like it leads to so many other things.
Facts. So Darklord, speaking of like, I'm sorry, go ahead, bro.
I was gonna say, yeah, I completely concur, man. Street Beefs is an outstanding platform to get anybody's fight career going, and not just because like there's something in it for like Street Beefs. It's because like this is again something that's like naturally built on just like the love of combat sports and the love of like mutual entertainment, and for us to just be able to be like, hey, listen, do what you got to do. You know what I mean? Do what you got to do. I mean, I'm sure I can't even count how many freaking fighters that I've known. There's a few that I fought myself that have gone on to do other things. And I'm just like, dude, that's awesome. You know what I mean? That's awesome, So,
how
so
big
again,
is Street Beefs for Dana
dude,
White?
I have friends in Europe that tell me that they've seen my fights, and I haven't talked to in years. They hit me up on Facebook. They're like, "Hey, Anthony, man, how's it going?" Like from Sweden. They're like, "Hey, how's it going, man? Long time no see. I just saw your fight on Street Beefs. How long have you been fighting for?" And I'm like, "Dude, that fight's like maybe like 6 months ago, 7 months ago." They're like, "Yeah, you did great. Yeah, good job." I'm like, "Oh, cool." So like that for it to be able to reach Scandinavia, dude, that's awesome. Like that's bitching, man.
When you think about how far the reach goes, Dana White knows it exists because he's grabbing Power Slap guys, right?
Right.
Pat McAfee knows it exists. He's the biggest sports show in the world right now. ESPN has had shit on about it. Like it's so big and it just keeps growing, and it just opens so many fucking doors that I don't think people realize like how many doors it can open for you. And I sometimes want to just scream at fighters who are good, like, start marketing yourselves. Like, start fucking marketing yourself right now. Because even if fighting doesn't work, you may have a career on the internet doing something.
Yep.
Nobody wants to fucking dig ditches for a living, right? I mean, for real. So,
Facts, man. Promoting and advertising and really pushing your brand is something that we all should be doing, but especially the fighters with intentions of like doing this long term. This is the best vehicle to use in that regard.
Absolutely, 100%. And another thing is a lot of people may or may not know how to pretty much promote themselves. But the cool thing about Street Beefs that I've learned is that, dude, you can just ask. You can just simply ask. Like if you have the courage enough to get there and put yourself in the ring, you should be able to have the courage enough to go ahead and ask your fellow fighter or ask your fellow promoter, ask Sam K, Free Smoke, whoever may be hosting the event. Hey, listen, I have a question about this and this and that. And what's cool is I've seen it with my own eyes. Do they take the time out of what they're doing to be like, hey, well, you got to do this, do that, or you can check this out, hit me up here, hit me up. And it's like I said, it's a complete like open brotherly like connection that a lot of like young, especially nowadays, what's going on in the world, a lot of young males and a lot of young ambitious fighters really need. You know what I mean? And it's dude, if I can cheers you guys, I'm gonna cheers you guys with my protein shake. Sas, cheers to many more years. You know what I mean?
yes, sir.
So I gotta ask, Darklord. One, did you grow up fighting, and how was that? And then two, how did we get our name, the Dark Lord?
Okay. So, um, yeah, growing up fighting was like a natural thing. I'm the oldest of three. My mom raised me. For a while, I didn't get a chance to meet my dad till like later on in life, and he kind of schooled me and put me up on real things, which is really awesome. And so fighting was like an everyday thing, man. I mean, I think through high school I went through like probably like 6 schools in the county, and then I ended up just being just an ass dude because whatever. I'm the oldest, so you got to kind of set that like that level because my younger brothers, whatever. And so yeah, fighting was always like a natural thing. But then once I started like training, like I was talking about before, once I actually started training and started honing in on the discipline of it and the actual severity of it, and because like like you got to know how hard you're kicking somebody, like to hurt them. But the only way you're gonna know that is if you've been kicked hard and it hurts. Does that make sense? You know what I mean? And it's not nice. There's I say, so like for the whole self-defense concept, I mean, I was always getting picked on. I was, when I was younger, I was fat, and then when I hit high school, I kind of like got skinny and kind of leaned out. And then I've been like 180 for like my whole life, 170, 180 my whole life. But as far as like now, dude, the like where the name the Dark Lord came from, I mean, everybody's got a story. For me, I took it from the concept of like, if you were to think about a Dark Lord, like not saying like Lord of the Rings or not fucking Harry, not Harry Potter, something, nothing like that, but you think of like a Lord of Darkness, right? Like what does that entail psychologically speaking? That would have to psychologically entail that this person understands the in-depth concept of darkness, right? Like the actual epitome of like nothingness, which I call the abyss, right? Hey, I'm live from the abyss, right? We're here, right? So you have to know the actual depth. And the only way you can be able to become the Lord of that is to conquer those thoughts, and to conquer that concept, to conquer that evil, to conquer that desire for the easy way out, or the destruction path, or the negligent path, because whatever, everybody has a story, right? So I thought of it more as like, I'm the Dark Lord because I am the Lord of Darkness, not because I disperse darkness, but because I've conquered it within myself, and I've relieved myself of malice. So now there's only an empty vessel ready to be filled with whatever knowledge is out there available. Does that make sense?
No, that is a perfect answer,
Absolutely.
and that is the most in-depth answer we've ever got. You really thought out your name, bro, and that's really commendable. Like, seriously, it means something to you. Like, some people are like, I just showed up on fight day and picked my name or whatever, but like
Right.
that really means some shit to you.
Yeah.
I feel like I don't know if you know who Dark is in Streetbeefs West Coast, but I feel like Dark would appreciate everything you just said. Because
Cool,
he's
man.
very he's very he's a beast out there in the ring, but he's very psychological when you speak with him, right? So he's
That's
gonna,
dope.
I think he'd appreciate that very much. But yeah, man, that was very well thought of. Yeah.
For a
Thanks,
minute,
man.
I thought I was going to have to defend Harry Potter as the Harry Potter nerd on the fucking show, but I didn't. But I didn't. No,
Hey, I
I was.
laugh. I laugh because I'm watching Lord of the Rings 3 tonight. So I was like, oh shit.
Nice. Nice. Right on, man.
But you were
Shout out to
telling
the
me
Shire, man. They got me on a good level.
when you were explaining that though, like I was literally sitting here like, damn, he went deep with this. Like, you know what I mean? Like, and it means that you like it made me feel like you take your spiritual and mental health very seriously too.
Well, yeah, I mean, for me, I mean, I wouldn't say spiritual. I would say more mental. I would say like more like a balanced concept. I mean, people have argued like there's good, there's evil, there's this, there's that, whatever. I understand something that's called it's called causality. And it's cause and effect. And cause and effect has a ripple between billions of people on this planet. Everybody does something that affects somebody else. So I just want to make sure that whatever I'm doing is not going to affect negatively the person to the left or to the right of me. That way I can go forward. You know, I can just keep like doing what I'm doing, whatever makes me happy, you know? So that's kind of what it is. And then again, like everybody, like we deal with a lot of like, dude, I can get so in depth, dude, you know? Like we have egos, we have experiences, we have attachments, we have conversational issues that we deal with, you know? Like I understand listening to even be a miracle, you know what I mean? Because like when a person, like how you're listening right now, you're actually understanding and feeling and visualizing what I'm expressing to you because you're putting an importance and an intention on it. You know, if people were to do that with everybody mutually, imagine how far we could get, how far we can actually understand the other person's thought, you know, by just showing a little bit of empathy and understanding. Because everybody else has it worse some other way, but we all feel the same stress level on the same level, but it's just in a different way. Does that make sense? You know?
Absolutely.
I'm sorry to sidetrack, man. I'm really stoned. I'm telling you, man. That shout out to the
No, no, you
Shire.
good. You good, brother. Hey, I had no
What?
idea them boys was on that pipe weed so much. I said, wait a second. I should have been got on the Lord of the Rings, Lord of the Pipe Weed. Damn. Hey, but I can attest to everything you just said, bro. Say it again.
What does that Sheldon say? The Sheldon, young Sheldon, Bazinga.
Yeah. Them boys was good and zooted. But
Hell yeah.
I can attest to what you're saying, as truly being genuine and real, because you know there was a moment where I was in trouble, and you and BDW came and helped me out, and you know I tried to come and repay you, and you were like, brother, there's no reason for you to do that. Like I didn't do this for you to come and do this, you know, to come give me. You're fine, bro. You don't have to do that. And I'm like, I was taken back. I'm like, no, because I feel like I gotta get. No, you don't. You're good, bro. I was like, whoa, this guy just did something genuine just to do something genuine. There's people. There's real people out there.
Yeah. Hey, big shout out to my homie BD Dub, man, too, man. Good looking out, man. For real.
Yeah. No, both of y'all are good looking out. Appreciate y'all.
Those are the people that are good to have around you, though. Those are the people you want around you, because like I have a lot of people I know that I'm friends with, but I have a like real smaller group of friends, and we always have a saying that there ain't no scorecard. You know what I mean? We just do for each other. There ain't no scorecard, bro. You need me, I got you. You got like I gotta change the fucking starter in my car. My buddy's gonna come help me. You know what I mean? And then next time he's got to do something in his house, I'll be there. You know what I mean? No question that. There ain't no scorecard. Like that's the people you want around.
Facts.
Absolutely. Yeah.
Facts. It made me realize where I was in the head, because I think he said something to the effect of, Darklord said something to the effect of, you know, I don't know who made you feel like you had to do something like that, but you're good, brother. You know, you ain't got to do that with me. And I was like, what the fuck?
Yeah. I remember. I said, I'm sorry that you had to deal with people like that, bro. But
Yeah. And I was like, well,
but it also shows Sam K what kind of guy you are, because you wanted to pay it back.
Yeah.
Facts. But that was, you know, not to get all, because we getting deep with it, right? But that it's trauma based. So it's I feel I need or have to do something based off of what took place way back when with whoever, whatever, right? And in that small, brief moment, my man neutralized that and said, nah, bro, this was just the act of.
That's
You know what I mean? So not many people can do that, you know?
Yep.
That's Streetbeefs.
Happy for you, man. I'm happy that you're able to break free of that concept, because now you're able to recognize that concept now, and that's the important part. That's really what I was kind of like, you know, because I was like, okay, but I knew where that came from. I knew exactly what I'm like, nah, dude, because my hopes is that you stay recognizing that, because that means that you're involved in your growth and you're going to continue to grow. You're going to continue to understand and develop more concepts and be more open, you know. And it's bravery. That's what I was saying earlier, like the courage to speak out and ask, hey, what do I do about the podcast? How do I do this? How do you know, to ask those things? Dude, it takes bravery, it takes courage for people to come out and do that, because everybody has their own understanding, like, oh, maybe I'm gonna be told no, or maybe this, maybe that's gonna go, maybe I don't know how to ask it right, whatever. But to be able to have that knowledge that you have now, it gives you one a better understanding of patience and a better concept of how to heal people, dude, which is sick, dog. That's sick. It's hard to create things, you know what I'm saying? It's easy to break shit. So I commend you, man. Hats off to you, brother. Absolutely. I'm so glad that that God bless
Hey,
you, man.
thank you. Thank
That's
you. That
dope.
was a collective effort right there.
Absolutely. Yeah.
This is the shit on why I love Street Beefs. Even as a fan, like this is the shit that I get. This is why like this show has been so great over the last few years is that the interactions I have got to have with people and like and sometimes some of the best conversations happen before you hit record because and it's amazing how quick you can build that relationship with somebody. And I'll never throw names out there, but there's been a handful of people who are like, Street Beef saved my life. I was going to kill myself. You know what I mean? Like, I've heard so many amazing stories about Street Beef. Like, it's just like, that's why I can't stress enough to people, like, just get involved, even if you're a fan. Because, like, if you truly love Street Beefs, the fighters will embrace
Facts.
And why not? And why not want to build yourself up and be better? Like I've seen guys come in there like at 135. I remember Zetro came in one time. I think it was like 135, and he built himself up to 155. Right? His last fight was like 155, something like that. 160. He's building up. And I've seen other fighters too. Like they come in, and they did like they start posting themselves like working out and just genuinely becoming a better person, like for themselves, because like at the end of the day, you could say it's for this one or they showboat or who gives it, whatever. There's a lot of hatred on social media, but at the end of the day, that person is actually doing it. They're consuming the nutrients. They're involving themselves in activity that has to involve themselves to be better than what they were so that they can achieve a goal. You know what I mean? That's the fact of it, So again, shout out to everything that Street Beef stands for. Yankee the Brit, man. I would love to meet the Brit next time, man. That'll be awesome. He sounds like a great cat. Funny cat. Samke, man, it's always a pleasure. I am gonna have to like low key cut it short because I am gonna get back to the fucking gym. I didn't realize that I'll be over here for an hour.
If you want to know how funny the Brit is before you take off,
Please
go on my Facebook page, and in my reels, he roasts me for my birthday, and it's like 15 minutes of him laying down the funniest jokes. One joke, just to leave you how funny he is. He said the U.S. is so young. R. Kelly's in its DMs.
Wow. Wow. Wow.
He was waiting for that
one. That's awesome.
Give everybody your social media and stuff where they can follow you and find you.
Oh, yeah, absolutely. Yeah, you can find me here on IG at the Darklord _1990. Go ahead and give me a shout out. I will also give you any other links if anybody's looking for any kind of construction work done to Black Ops Construction, LLC. Do not worry about any kind of Indeed or undergoing because we are straightforward and always going. And I will let you know exactly what time it is on my next fight.
All right, man.
Hey, we appreciate you, brother. Great show.
Thank you, man. Thank you. Thanks for the opportunity, man. Shout out. West Coast.
Another fire show, man.
All right. He seems like the most amazing dude. And I could probably spend a whole day, like 8 hours, just talking to that dude about everything and nothing, if that makes sense.
Right. Shit, we went past our time a little bit, because a good interview is a good interview, a good conversation, and good people are good people. So
no, he's like, not only watching him fight is fun and interesting, but like as a human being, he seems very interesting and very grounded to me. And that piques my interest. Like, I don't want to get off on something, but you don't find as many grounded people, it seems like sometimes. And
Facts. Especially in the fight game, it can be hard for a lot of us to balance out, fighting and then, maintaining life, so when someone's got a grasp of their mental, and what's going on around him. It's good to have those conversations.
Yeah, because to be a fighter, for one, you got to have some alpha in you. You got to be a little touched in the head to want to be punched in the face. I mean, let alone for money, but for free, right? Like, so guys just show up to get punched in the face for free. I mean, I get it's the competition and everything else, but not everybody who likes competition is going to do that. So it takes a different breed of human being, and then to try to bring it back into normal life sometimes. And I think, I mean, some of the best fighters became great fighters because of their circumstances, right? They didn't always fit in well with society. If you go back through history, you know, I mean, Mike Tyson, great example, guy that didn't always fit in because he was touched in the head.
Yeah. Shout out Mike.
Yeah, dude. And Mike is one of the few dudes who did like complete 180, right? Or even 360. Loved, hated, loved again. So.
Yeah, that's true, man. That's true.
No, to me, and you know, I've said it a lot. You've heard me say it, but what Streetbeefs does for people, I think is great. And I also think it's one of those things, though. You'll get out of as much of it. You'll get out as much of it as you put in, and as much as you want from it, right?
Right.
Like,
right.
It was a great show.
Say it again.
I said it was a great show, and it ain't even over yet.
It's not. It's not. We got more.
No, so we're going to hit you with this commercial, and then we're going to come back with the smoke break, so don't go anywhere.
Refusing to allow limits to hold you back. When you hit that wall, you can either let it stop you, or you can break through. Somke speaks from experience when he says cardio is key, cardio is key, cardio is key. And over here at Zuwell, we embody our motto, hard work, grit, and determination. Go get your cardio is key shirt today.
Streetbeefs West Coast, we in the hot box. Over here we have McPeak, 6 and 5. Over here we have Scorpio, 5 and 8.
McPeak, formerly known as Doughboy, the former heavyweight boxing champion, in his first match since losing the title versus Scorpio. Heavyweight big boy boxing. These men have decided to both fight without mouth guards due to one fighter forgetting his mouth guard. The men have been briefed on the rules as well as the mats and the perimeter of the cage. And here we go. Round one. Scorpio takes the center. Doughboy with the 1-2 on the outside already. Scorpio seeming very confident, taking the center of the ring, going to the body. Huge hook to the body there. Doughboy's on the outside trying to make his way back in. A little bit of a flurry there. Oh, some heavy shots to the head. McPeak is on the, whoa, big shot. Slight slip there, but that was off of a huge punch from Scorpio. As we see Scorpio gains his air, he's also acknowledging that it was either a slip or not a slip. Either way, Doughboy is back in the game. McPeak is back in the game. Oh, beautiful feint, beautiful jab, beautiful right. Nice overhand. Scorpio taking these shots, just shelling up. Got to get out the corner, sir. Huge hooks from Scorpio. These men get tied up a little bit there, and we're still in the corner. Big shots from McPeak. Nice little flurry there. Scorpio still in the game, throwing some heavy hooks and some heavy body shots. He's just got to move his body. He's got to get out that corner. Still in the corner, taking some nice setup shots from McPeak. McPeak now receiving a little bit of damage. The hair is everywhere for Scorpio. He's managed to get out the corner now, though. 1-2, then an overhand, then a body shot. All right. Beautiful combination from McPeak. Great combination to end the round. And that was pretty explosive, pretty fiery. And that's the end of round one. We had an explosive start. Scorpio coming out the gate throwing bombs, being effective with the heavy shots, scoring the knockdown, but also blowing his tank and his gas early on. We also saw McPeak with a slow start, but after the knockdown, picking up the pace, picking up the volume. Let's move to round 2. All right, and here we are at the start of round 2. Scorpio taking the center once again, working his jab. Big overhand hooks. Oh, and McPeak is taking some damage. He's taking some damage. We have a bloody nose. But it looks like Scorpio might have emptied his tank. Alright, we've got a little tying up here. We see McPeak looking down because he's actually getting blisters on his feet from the heat in the mats. But it's not stopping him. He's now turning up the momentum, turning Scorpio around. And now McPeak is in the corner. 1-2s. Gave us a nice left hook. Nice right hook, nice left hook. Beautiful shots here. Scorpio's just eating these shots, and yeah, we have to give him an 8 count. Not defending himself, taking major damage. And McPeak just standing there waiting, and they get right back to it. Huge overhand. Huge right hand. Huge hooks right here. Scorpio's taking some damage. He's taking some major damage. The hair's in his face. He's fatigued from those initial combinations at the beginning of the round. And McPeak is able to work. Beautiful shots from McPeak. Beautiful comeback in this round from him. Alright, and that's the end of round 2. McPeak has scored a knockdown against Scorpio after Scorpio had landed a knockdown against McPeak in the first round. Another highly active round with many combinations thrown between these two fighters. We do see McPeak take a little damage with a bloody nose. Let's see what's going on in the third and final round of this fight. Alright, let's get it. Round 3. It's been a very competitive fight between these two. I'd say it's about a round apiece. I haven't looked at the scorecards just yet. I haven't checked my my punch stats just yet, but it's been a great fight. Scorpio again starting off very aggressive, going to the body, going to the head, huge hooks. McPeak had to get out of there for a second. Those feet are burning up too. He's making comments about it. Yeah, you can see him looking down. He's thinking about multiple things right now. And Scorpio is just leaning in for the attack. He's going straight in. The stakes are high. It's the last round. And McPeak has decided to stand in the shade and try to box it out on that side of the ring. Very smart on his end. We saw a great 1-2 just now thrown. Great jab. Great jab. Great jab. Great jab. Went for the overhand. Slightly missed. Scorpio's got to defend himself here. He's just standing there taking shots, taking punishment. Doesn't seem to be truly hurt, just seems to be very fatigued. Cardio is key, as we say. And McPeak is doing a great job of managing his tank while still staying active and attacking. We saw a nice exchange of jabs just now. Jab to the body, 1-2 up top. And that was round 3. Even I got a taste of the action. What a fight. What a fight. No mouthpieces. What a fight. And that's the end of a great fight. Even I took a punch right there at the end. Nonetheless, McPeak came out displaying his heart, showcasing the determination, and fighting through the blisters that he was developing under his feet from the heat hitting the mats. He's really on his road to redemption, and he's truly on that road to reclaim his title as the champion. But we can't forget about Scorpio coming out, being very aggressive, fighting with intention, and fighting through the fatigue. These men put up a great fight, so now I'm interested. Who do you believe won the fight? Comment below.
Hell yeah, great job.
Thank you, sir. Thank you, sir.
So
Hey, that was a great fight.
I have to ask, why didn't McPeak, aka Doughboy, put some shoes on or something in between rounds?
You'd have to ask him, man. I don't know. I don't know, you know, and appreciate you, Presido Zed. Appreciate you, brother. Yeah, I really don't know. I mean, he forgot his mouthpiece, and I believe he purposely showed up without, you know, to fight with no shoes or socks. Yeah, man, I
How
don't
bad
know.
were the feet?
They were blistered. They were
Oh.
blistered.
As you were saying that, though, I'm like, my feet just start hurting every time I hear you say that. I'm like, blisters on the feet would suck too. Not that I mean, I've had blisters from like, you know, when I played sports or whatever, but never from burning.
Yeah.
Not on
And
my
you got to
feet.
think, like, it's causing him to use his computer in the middle of the fight. You know what I mean?
It made me
So
wonder if he stayed in the shaded area more on purpose too, because he kind of kept his back up to the cage at the end. And if you
Yeah.
watch, that's the shaded area of the mats. And so when we were just watching it now, I was like, I wonder if he's backing up to get his feet out of there.
yeah, he was. He was. You know, especially towards the end. You know, yeah, man. Shout out to him. Kudos to him, because that had to been
There was
as you
no
saw,
quitting that dude.
that was tough. But also shout out to Scorpio, because you know he made the decision to also fight without a mouth guard, and you know it's just kind of like he didn't have to, you know what I'm saying, but he wanted to kind of even it out. So you know that I thought that was pretty commendable, and they put on a good show, man. They put on a good show. I think it could have been an even better fight, you know, had we been more prepared. But you know, for me as a fighter, I try to be overly prepared. So I don't understand how some fighters show up under prepared. You know what I mean? I don't get, I don't understand how it happens.
I'm with you because I grew up playing sports and I hated to lose and I always wanted to win. So I was always willing to do whatever it took to make sure we won, right? You know what I mean? And so being unprepared is, I get that. It's weird. When I was in college, I didn't understand how people are like, oh, I didn't prepare for the test. It's like, well, this should go well for you then. Like, you know, you get what you put in, you know?
Yeah. You know, if I got to fight, if I'm scheduling myself to fight, I have enough prep time to become Batman. You know, I turn into Batman, and it's all prep. It's all prep, you know, because
you and I talked about this once. If you're fighting at an event, like you got to drive alone to the event. Like that's your time. That's your thing. Like there's a zone you get in or whatever you need to go through for you to make sure that you're at your top performance, you know, when you get there.
Yeah. Yeah. And you know, that's key, you know, being in the right state of being, you know, that means physically and mentally, psychologically, you know, spiritually being, you know, as whole and as prime as you can be, you know, is only going to help you in the fight, you know. And you know, how do you show up tired, you know, didn't get no sleep? Granted, that's happened to me once, but you know, you hear the stories and you hear it over and over again. You know, how did you show up, you know, dehydrated simply, you know, and that's almost half of everyone at the event. Like, what? How are you not hydrated?
I'll never put names on it, but I've had people also tell me when we're not recording, like, bro, I was so hungover, or I think I was still drunk a little bit.
Yeah. Yeah.
But in fairness, not everybody gets to Nevada that often, and you're staying in Vegas, and they shouldn't do it. But in fairness, if there's the one place that's going to get you out of what you normally do, that's that Sin City right there.
But see, that's your reward after your fight.
I agree with you. I am with you. But I will just say that's the one city where I'm like, I kind of get it.
Yeah, if I'm going to risk it.
I kind of get it. Yeah.
Yeah. The city of sin is where I'm going to risk it. I get it. Trust me, I get it. But if you care about the results of your fight, you're going to put in the preparation to get the proper result. And then you're going to go reap the benefits of the rewards and you know, the dub. But before that, you know, it's a prison asylum before we get the victory.
Yeah, I think
you know what I'm saying.
The Friday night in Las Vegas before you go fight, and people are like, "I'm just gonna have one drink," and then 14 drinks later, while they're on top of the bar, they're like, "Oh shit, it's 3 a.m. and I got to fight tomorrow."
Hey man, we saw the biggest upset in sports history from an undeniable machine back in the 90s, and all because he wanted to party and bullshit before his fight and take his opponent lightly.
Are we talking?
You know what I mean?
Mike Tyson.
You know what I'm saying? So it's like these things matter. These things matter, and they affect the result, the end result. You know, so if I can push the needle in the proper direction before the fight happens, I'm gonna do that. You know, and if I got to tell myself this is what I got to do in order to believe that this is what's going to happen, then that's what it is. You know, like I remember training before some fights. There's certain things I didn't have to go out and do. You know, like my Muay Thai fight, I was out here elbowing palm trees and shit. You know, bare elbow, ripping my elbows up. You know, I didn't have to do that. There was no reason for me to do that. And then I'm like up in the mountains, finding dead palm trees to knock down. There's no reason why I should be doing that, right? But in my mind, if I can go do this right now and make it a habit, I can do anything, and I can summon the person, the being that's necessary when the time comes, you know, by developing that person now, you know. So looking back, yeah, that was crazy. You know what I mean? But, you know, whatever you feel like you got to do to get to that place, to where it's pretty much undeniable, I got the win, you know. And time again, I would always feel a week before the fight, oh, I won it. Like I could feel it come on, like I already won, you know. I now completed my task of my training camp, and my end result is I feel like I won.
Yeah, and you got to embrace that nervous tension that comes along with it. I kind of love that shit though. That when I was playing sports, that little weird butterfly, whatever you want to call it, in your stomach, right? Like, I love that shit. Like, it made me feel uncomfortable. Don't get me wrong, but it was the uncomfortableness that made me really focus in on what I was doing.
Right. And that dance, it's a dance, and you're uncomfortable, and you have to get comfortable. And for me, when it came to the fight, the moment I know that I won the fight is the dance with the nerves are no longer happening. And now I know, oh, I'm no longer dancing with this nervousness. I've arrived, so now I know for a fact I've done what I needed to do to undeniably win. You know what I mean? And yeah, and that's all psychological. You know what I mean? Because again, maybe I didn't have to do any of that, but maybe I needed to believe that to do that. And, a lot of times these guys are just getting up and going out there with no belief, no training, no conditioning, and it's like without that preparation, it's a coin toss. Yeah. Wait, did I say that right? A coin toss.
Coin toss.
I get a little dyslexic.
It's that everybody wants the opportunity, but it doesn't mean nothing if you're not prepared, right? Because great things happen when opportunity and preparation meet each other. So you got to stay ready to be ready.
Yes, sir.
All right. Well, I was a great show. I had a lot of fun. I appreciate you
Absolutely.
guys.
Absolutely, man. It was a great show. Appreciate you coming on, filling in for Buddy. Shout out to Buddy V. Kind of going through some things right now. We appreciate you. Man, phenomenal guest tonight. Darklord, we appreciate you and your time, brother.
Amazing.
Jay, normally killing it in the background, but you was out here killing it. I appreciate you. Huh?
I said I'm on the front lines.
Yeah, on the front lines. You know what I mean? Pop, pop, pop. Yeah, man. Shout out to everyone watching live, everyone watching the replay on playback, everyone in the comment section. We appreciate you. We do this for y'all. Shout out to the OG Yard, Scrap Yard, West Coast, and the Dirty South. We do this for y'all. Shout out to Overtime Hustler Magazine. Shout out to Heart in the Fight. Shout out to zwellworld.com. You see it right down there on the screen. zwellworld.com. That's where you can get your Cardio is Key shirts, and that's where you can get all your Zwell merch as well. And as Jay mentioned earlier, the Cardio is Key shirts are on sale right now. You can't find it nowhere else for $10. $10.
You can't even get the T-shirt for $10. Like, you can't go to Walmart and get a T-shirt for $10. So
that's what I'm saying. Go ahead, do yourself the favor, get your cardio up with the Cardio is Key shirt. And yeah, man, that's pretty much it for me, man. We had a great show, and if y'all trying to check for me, I'll be here same time, same place next week.
All right, everybody, thanks for watching. Like he said, go get your Cardio is Key shirt, $10 right now. And it's only for a limited time, so don't wait. Also, shout out Overtime Hustling. Go hit that like and subscribe over there. Do the same thing here if you haven't already. And just share it. You know you want to share it. Just hit the button, share it. It'll feel good. You'll enjoy it. I promise. It'll be better than a Diddy party. All right, guys. Thanks for watching. One world, one love. Deuces.